Thank you, Bu Francis. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, ambassadors. I've been given 3 items to say something about by our distinguished moderator. The first is about the, which one is that? The balls. Should I start with the balls first? No, the extremes.
Oh, the extremes.
The extremes. Yes, it was just some notes that the last point that I supposed to elaborate is actually got stuck, which is the M word, got stuck, because the government is trying to be inclusive, while there are a very polarized opinion there outside the government building. On one side, we have the private sector that also using some of the figures that our Vice Minister of Agriculture is using, calling for a continuation of business as usual. Nothing can be better than business as usual. It brings jobs to 3.5 million people, and so on and so forth. Tens of billions of dollars of revenue to the government. So that's one extreme. Why are we doing all these emission reductions? Because we do need development, we need jobs, we need all kinds of the good things that the plantations, the industries are bringing. On the other extreme, we have the NGOs and also the scientists, of which some coming from Ibu Frances' office also, who is asking for a much scientifically correct policy and business practice. We are destroying our forests, we need to stop destroying it, and let's take a break, complete break, revamp everything, and then we reorganize our forest in a more sensible and scientifically appropriate system. These 2 extremes continues and penetrating to various elements of the government, and it came with several drafts that are a bit different, only a few words different, but it prevented us to have the M policy issued 3 months, 4 months ago. So what I was proposing is, let's look at the compromise. Let's look at the middle of the road position. And because in reality, in real life, no one will get everything what he or she wants. There is always some give and some takes, and we need to go what we can do. We can eat what we can afford to eat. I cannot finish my steak, but it's what I can get, right? So let's be realistic and take the more realistic options. That's where I'm calling, and I heard a lot of people also voicing out the same inclinations to find a workable compromise solution. The second point that was assigned to me is about the balls, and I think there are some parts of the words that take people to make a more sharp and creative interpretation of what the balls means. Immediately after I finished making my speech, Frances remembered that I have 4 balls, and I said, yeah, I did. Then my distinguished elder brother and guru, Pak Wimar, also remember about the balls. I think the word balls refer to a lot of things, including courage, including the political will that need to be mobilized to come up with needed policies. But what I was trying to bring was only that the president and also the government in general has to juggle a number of objectives, have to juggle a number of activities that has to go in parallel, from conserving the nature, conserving forests by a franchise here. He's very, along with some 3,000, 5,000 officers of Ministry of Forestry would like to preserve the high quality, pristine primary forest. We do commit on that. The other ball is we do need to develop. Pak Sofyan, groups are contributing a lot of not only jobs but also tax revenue that help pay the bills. So that's 2 balls already, and then we have other balls. We just committed 2 years ago to have emission reductions. So the third ball is a bit more interesting because it has to change the way we operate. Sustainability, like Deputy Minister said, is not only about combining economic and ecology, but also have to factor in the emission that we are emitting without we really knowing. And then there are many balls that we can add, but at the end of the day, again, in order to come up with a good symphony of juggling the balls, we need the players on each of the balls to communicate. And I especially would like to convey my appreciation to the hosts of the meetings that this afternoon we have a chance to communicate better, to communicate beyond press statements. I can almost predict what Pak Nandi will say about problems of the business in the field. But until we sit together and go through one by one of the problem, then we will rehearsing the same lack of communication problems. Let's move and solve it one by one. And my last comment is about the update. This is a bit old song, but I've seen the drafts already have several signatures that will make it possible to be sent to the President. It has not been sent to the President as of yesterday, but it may be already this morning. But whatever that is, the President will take a few hours, perhaps a day or two, to come up with some changes and then sign it. So hopefully by next week it can be issued. But mind you, I've been saying this 5 times already. Thank you.